Welcome back, gang. So this is now part 2 of within our social network series where we're adding friendships into the mix. So in the previous episode, what we did was we were able to get the user ID with 1 to send a friend request to user ID of 7. So you can see that here, requester 1, user requested 7. So all I've done on off screen was log in as user number 7 so that we can get into accepting and ignoring the friendship request, okay? So let's get into it. Let's head over to our code and our text editor and start looking at the code. So in the previous episode, we actually set up a friendable trait. And in that trait, we have a bunch of different functions set up so that we could basically handle all of our friendships functionality. And the only main function that we did was add friend. Okay, what I would like to do today is now take a look at some of these functions so that we can add that to the profile page and be able to put the correct buttons and text on it. Okay, so the first one I want to take a look at is friends with ID. So if an array, the ID that's put into the field, we just want to check to see if it matches up with friends IDs, which is taken from this collection up here, where it's on the model, it's the user's friends. It's going to plug the ID to array. We already went over that, but that's just a brief synopsis of what that is. So what we want to do is now on the profile controller, okay, we are now rendering just the profile. So what I want to do is add some more fields to render in the as props in that component. Okay, so the first one I want to do is friends width. Okay, equals auth user. And now we can use that function that we just looked at. Okay, and it's going to be is friends with. And then the field, the ID field we're going to use is from this field, this variable right in here. So it's going to be user ID. Okay. Now, we want to add this to this view. So let's take a look at that. Profile show. And it's going to be pages user profile. Okay, now we want to accept that property in this view. So the property is friends with. And make sure that compiles. Okay, then we'll head over to our browser. And then we are going to click refresh. We're going to open up our dev tools and see what we get. We also want to head over to that user's page that has sent us the friend request. Okay. Will be members. This is the user that sent us the request. And in our view DevTools, we'll change this button in a bit. In our view DevTools, we'll go to show. And now you can see is friends with is 0, meaning this user, the logged in user, is not friends with this user just yet. Okay, so how do we fix that? The next one we want to look at is if we, as the authenticated user, send a request to that user. So the function for that is going to be has pending friend request sent to. Okay, so this is the one here. We can go ahead and just copy that and we'll use it in our controller. So it's going to be friend request sent to equals auth user. Then we can go ahead and paste that in, add parentheses because it is a function, and then user ID. Okay, and the last one that we're going to need here is going to be this function that asks if we have a pending friend request from. Okay, copy, go to profile controller, and then we'll add the next field, which is friend request received from equals auth user. Go ahead and paste in that function, and then once again user ID. Close that up, and we actually need the D from here, and then we can, you press Control and double click on each of these, you can copy them. We're going to go to our show page, and then we're going to add comma, open quotes, comma, open quotes, and then if you click on in between the quotes and those quotes, you can paste them, and now we'll have both of our props that we just added in. Okay, so let's go ahead to the browser and see if we can see those in the props. And now we have some new fields. So we do have a friend request from this user, so that's true, that's one, and false and false for the other ones. Okay, so that's cool. Now we can go back to our show view, and we can copy and paste these. So copy, and now we can come up to the status component. Okay, now we can add all of these fields here. Okay, we'll just add colons to them. Or actually, what we can do is do it like this. Okay, and then here, here, and here we can add equals, and then paste them again in there, and then we'll have our fields. Let's go ahead and line this up a bit better. Okay, so now these props that we're sending in, we're going to want to go ahead and now in the status component accept those properties. So status. Now come down to the prop section and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. And we'll click all of these and paste. So now we're receiving those properties in the status component. This is good. So now we can go up here, and now we can add a new template. We'll open that up, and the condition we'll put here is if friend request received from, okay, which is this one right here. Matter of fact, let's just copy and paste that to make sure I don't have any spelling errors in that. Okay, we are gonna put two different buttons here, but for now we'll just put accept and ignore. Okay, and then this v if will now be v else if. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh and see if that works. We can close this for now. Okay, so now we have the two instead of that button. And just to be sure, let's just go to another random user to check and make sure that they still have the accept button or the add button. Okay, fantastic. So let's go back to that user, and now we're going to start working on these two buttons right here. Now the first thing I want to do is we'll start working on the accept button first. So we're going to extract it into its own component, and then we'll extract it into an accept component. So this is how we're going to do that. First things first, in our buttons folder, okay, we're going to add a new button called green button.view. Okay, now I'm just going to paste some code in here. It's the same as our blue component, except the colors are different. Okay, so that's the only difference. And we're going to be using this for different things, so that's why we're extracting into a component. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is in the friend status folder, I want to create an accept.view, and this will hold our accept form. Okay, so here we're going to put a template, and we're going to add some script tags. Okay, and in the template we're going to add a form, and we don't need this action for now. So we'll go ahead, open up the form tags, and then we're going to go ahead and use the new green button that we just created. So green button. Okay, we'll go ahead, import it here. At buttons, green button, and we also need to add components. Okay, and then we need a component section here. Components and green button. Okay, now this button is going to be of the type submit, and the only class we're going to put on it is text extra small. Okay, and we're going to open this up, and we're just going to put accept. Okay, now this accept we need to actually add to our status. Okay, and how we're going to do that is we can get rid of this and add accept, and it looks like it actually imported on its own. Cool. I don't even remember what extension that is, but it doesn't work 100% of the time, as you can see. But it worked now, so we're good. And yet I still have an error. Nope. Okay, we're good. Now, let's just go and see if that shows up in a browser. Okay, cool. So it's got the hover state and everything. Okay. Now, we do need to add another icon. But before we do that, I do want to send in the property to accept it in the component, and that property is the profile. Okay, so let's add it to the accept component. So profile equals profile. And then in the accept component, we'll go ahead and accept that as a property. So props profile. And we can also add the icon here, and we just need to grab that new icon because I don't think we have it yet. So user plus, user edit. Oh no, we do. User plus. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh it and make sure that icon's showing through. And there it is. To finish out these buttons, we're gonna work with the ignore button now. Okay, so lucky for us, Jetstream already has a red button. So if you go to Jetstream, and this button is what's it called? Danger button. Okay, we'll open that one up. And now, this button's already taken care of. So we can go ahead and in our status, in the friend status folder, we'll just create a new file called ignore.view. Okay, so we'll add template, form, we'll get rid of this stuff. And now we can go ahead and use that jet danger button. Okay, and it's going to be type equals submit class of text XS, and then in here we'll just put ignore for now. Okay, so let's add our script, move that over, and we'll import jet danger button from at Jetstream danger button. Okay, and then in the components, we'll just add jet danger button. Okay, let's make sure that compiles. We'll go ahead to our browser, refresh, and nope. What did I forget to do? Of course, I forgot to add it to our status component. Okay, so we'll go ignore. Hopefully that imports. That's not going to import. Okay, so ignore. Ignore. Close that up. We'll go down to the imports, and under this one we'll put import ignore from /ignore. We don't need this view here. You can just grab that, move that out. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and also add it to our list, ignore. So that should now work. Come back to our browser, refresh. Okay, and there it is. So we just want to move it over a little bit. So let's add some classes to it. So we can also add the profile equals profile. Okay, and then the class is just going to be margin left 3, and that should take care of that. Refresh. Okay, great. So now the next thing I want to do is add that icon. So we'll go to our ignore button, and under here we need to add that to the icon page first. So icon, and then we can go ahead and just add it here. So we'll go back to ignore, and go ahead and put that new icon. So paste. Okay, now let's go back, refresh, make sure the icon's there. Fantastic. There's an icon, and we have a hover state, and everything is looking good. So the next thing I want to do is start making these buttons do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so what we want to do is go back to our text editor. We can close this one for now. We can close this one for now, and we'll just leave the rest. Controller, I think we're done with. We can close that as well. Okay, so first things first, I want to create a new root. Okay, so in our friends group here, we can go ahead and add the next root for accepting the request. Root. And this method is going to be a patch request / more root model binding. Okay, again, we're going to be using the friend controller, and the function that we're going to be using is update. Okay, and this one we're just going to name it update. Okay, so now what we want to do is head over to the friend controller, or actually let's go ahead to the friendable first, and we need to add this new function. So we're going to go ahead and put it in, let's see, we have add friend up here. I'm just going to minimize that a little bit. I'm going to paste in the code for it. Okay, so now this function, it's named accept friend. So now we'll be looking for the requester as the field we're inserting. So if this has pending friend request from, okay, if we have a pending request from, and this is false, then friendship equals friend, where requester is requester, sorry, you're going to return 0. So the new relationship is friendship equals where requester is the requester, where user requested is this ID, and then we're just looking for the first one. So now if there's a friendship, then we can update the status to 1, and then we're going to return 1, and if none of that passes, we're going to return 0 false. This has pending friend request from comes from our method down here, where if in array the user ID is this pending friend request IDs, and again that's coming from this collection right here. Okay, so now we can use that method in our controller. So we'll go look for friend controller. We'll go down to the update method. Okay, and we'll get rid of this or move it up a line. We're gonna again add the user, and here we'll just put app models user and then the user variable. Okay, so now this one will be auth user accept friend, and we'll be passing in the user ID. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and die dump 1. So just like the add friend form that we did before, we're going to need to go to, do we need this anymore? I don't think we need this anymore. We'll go ahead and close it for now. We'll go to accept. Okay, we'll add the data. So it'll be data. This is going to be a function. So open that up, return. And then it's going to be accept friend form. And then we're going to have this dot inertia dot form. And what we're going to add is user, and it's going to be this dot profile, which again is coming from the prop. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and add in a method, and this method will be accept friend. So now we're going to add this dot accept friend form dot patch, and then it'll be this dot route and it's going to be friends dot update, and then as a parameter we're going to add this dot profile ID, and outside of that we're going to add a comma. We're going to open up some curly braces and then preserve scroll is true, and then on success another anonymous function equals, and we're just going to leave it at that for now. So that should compile okay. This needs to be methods, and now this accept friend, we need to go ahead and put that in the form up top. So now for the form, we need to do submit.prevent equals, and I need an @ symbol there, open quotations, accept friend. Okay, let's head over to our browser and see if this works. So we'll refresh it. We'll open up our inspect tool so we can see what's going on. Then we'll go to our network tab, network. And we're gonna look here. Okay, so now we can click accept. Okay, no error yet. And we're getting one. We're getting that from the controller, so that's worked. Okay, now let's go ahead and refresh the database real quick. So this status will turn to 1. Okay, good. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this back to 0 so that we can continue on and work with the ignore, but we'll still have that button working. Okay, so let's head back to the controller, and let's finish up this update before we move on to the edit. The ignore. So essentially what we're gonna do is pretty much the same as up here. If no user, copy, come back down, let's add this up top, paste. We'll just leave that for now, because as I said before, we're going to be using Sweet Alert for some of these. So for this one, we'll just return back. Okay, so let's start working on the ignore function. Okay, so as usual, we are first going to create a new route. Okay, we can copy this one. This is actually going to be a get from controller. This is going to be a custom function, so deny, and then the name will be deny. Okay, so let's head into our friend controller and start implementing that there. Well, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and add that function to our friendable to keep we're going to try to keep our controllers clean as possible. So we'll go up to friends. Let me minimize these so I can see them better. Okay, so under accept, I'm just going to copy and paste some code here. Okay, so this is going to be the function deny friend. Again, we're looking for the person that is requesting us is the requester, and this function has pending request from the requester. If that equals 0, then return 0. Okay, so again, we have a friendship relationship where this requester, and where the user requested is this ID, which is the current authenticated ID first. If friendship, then the friendship will delete it, meaning it'll just erase the request from the database, so it won't even be a field in the database, a row in the database anymore. Okay, so how can we use that in the controller? Now, I don't generally like making custom functions in controllers. I'll usually go ahead and create a new controller and then just make it one of the 7 resources. But in this case, it's only one function, so I didn't really see a need to go ahead and, make a whole new controller just for the one. Okay, so copy, paste. We're going to use this one to scaffold this one out. Okay, so we need this request. Okay, we'll just add it there. Okay, request. Now this we are going to change to the model at models user, and again user. Now here we're going to just go ahead and change this to user, since we are using root model binding user, and this function we need to change to deny, because that's what we have in our routes file. Okay, so now the function is going to be auth user deny friend. Okay, and that's the one we just added to the trait. Okay, and now this, as usual, it's going to be user ID, because that's what we're passing in. Okay, and again, we'll just die and dump. We'll die and dump 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in our ignore function. Now this one's going to be pretty easy, because we're not going to be, since it's a get method in the web route, it's not, we won't need to add a form. Okay, so we can just add a method, and this method is going to be called ignore request. Okay, open that up, and then it's going to be this dot inertia dot get this route friends dot deny, and the parameter it's going to be this profile ID. Okay, open that up. So here all we'll need is on success, an anonymous function, and we'll just leave it at that for now. So now we can just scroll up to the top, and to the form we'll go at submit dot prevent. It's just going to be ignore request. Okay, so remember we still have this in the user base, in the database, but we just removed the status. So we'll come to our browser, we'll refresh, and now when we click ignore, what's the error? Type error of undefined found in ignore. Okay, so let's see what that's about. Ignore. Okay. So let me just get rid of this for a second. And now I need to add this to this. Oops. Oh, it's alright. We'll just open it up, and then it'll be on success equals. Okay, so let's try this again. refresh. Okay, and now we'll go back to the network tab, and fingers crossed that this works, and of course not, we have an error. Okay, so it's not receiving the ID. Let's take a closer look at this. I think I have to have props in here. Let me look at the status and see if, okay, so I pushed it in, but I didn't accept it in the actual ignore component. So we'll add props, profile. Okay, and now this profile should be what's sent in this request. Let's try this again. Refresh. We'll go to our network tab. Okay, and let's say 15th time is a try. So we'll go ahead and click it. Okay, so now that looks good. And 1, so we're getting it from the database, and or from the controller rather. So let's check the database. Friends. Okay, and now it's completely gone from the database, which is what we wanted. And now we can go to our controller, run controller, and go back to this and now finish. We'll just use the same one from here. Copy, paste. This user could not be found, and we'll just return back for now. Yeah, so that's a good way to end our part 2 of the friendship functionality. So the last thing we have to do is to delete a user. When you're friends, you can go ahead and remove them as a user if you don't want them in your friends list anymore. That will be the very last one. After that, we'll start working on spinners and the toast notifications that we're going to make as well, and a lot of other cool things coming. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if it helped you at all. If you have any questions, go ahead, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.